The psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project to solve the problems, challenges, obstacles in our lives, as well as a self-improvement process to reach the heights, goals, and visions we've set for ourselves and those we care for. That being said, let's start off by saying that if you want a brief introduction and summary into the Ahn Rho Project, as well as how we break it down to domains of life, analogies, subdomains, subseries, and so on and so forth, as well as a live stream schedule and copyright-free music, you can find that all. Check that out in the previous live stream for the past 3.5 years straight up to January 2021. It's all there. If you want that jazz, you can find it there. But that being said, let's move on to the second segment, which is just the table of contents. Quickly, briefly, we're going to run through maybe about 8 segments today. Usually about 10 segments, but today just about 8. And we're going to, as usual, run it for about 14 to 15 minutes long and come to conclusion. The third segment, which will happen after this, is basically sort of like a disclaimers. I'm starting to have to say that disclaimers, like 3 important notes or highlights before I get started. And then the fourth segment is going to be what you see is what you get. So we're going to start off with the interesting stuff here. The photography. You can see there's some clothing tags, there's some bandages, some injury-related materials. We also have some protective equipment. I also want to talk about some stuff that has to do with booking an appointment for COVID-19, vaccination shots, and again, whether you decide to or not, that's entirely up to you. And then we also have the 5th segment, which follows up on the photography. A lot of commentary, storytelling, right, relatable sort of stuff like that. But number 5, the 5th segment, has to do with what you see on the left-hand panel, and it's this. I'm going to magnify it a little bit. This kind of directory of the Ahn Rho Project, which includes the live stream as well as the project and the podcasts and the Excel databasing, as well as audio recordings, which is what you see. So just kind of trying to bring it all together. Segment 6, we're gonna try to get up, be a little bit more active. I'm going to get up off stream. If I move the photographs away, you can sort of see my hand right here. So I'm just waving my hand right here. That's region D1. We want to cover some physical items that are related to the photography that we have on screen. But if I turn to A7 right here, you can see some stuff. As well as we're going to be standing up and moving to region, I believe, E at the back. E1, E2. We have some clothing stuff, as well as some ideas for this strap here in A2, and this is rare, but basically I want to talk about my drop leg rig and how I'm going to edit it. So that's a lot of stuff that has to do with clothing and accessories today in the 6th segment. After that, 7 and 8 what has to do with just kind of sitting down here. We're going to cover a little bit about relationships and how things went down in the workplace yesterday. So things that are more abstract I can't talk about, I can't show you, I can only talk about it. And then we're going to dive into the 8th segment, which, like I said, it's pretty much about the wraps. The last one will be just kind of Excel databasing. We're going to cover a little bit of inventory, some food that we had to budget in that was not ours, class 4 items, as well as fitness, how I've been going downhill for the past 3 days, atrociously, so bad that I would sleep almost at 3 a.m. at night and wake up 3-4 hours late for work. And binge eating, constipation, all that kind of shit. After that, we have to get on the recovery. We're gonna see if there's any comments. You guys want to leave comments on the side, any questions, any funny jokes or memes, you can go for it, just go crazy. Bottom left hand side. And then we'll just take a message if we have time for that. So with that being said, let's move on to the 3rd segment, which is what? Like I said, kind of like important notes. The first one is I'm going to be real, raw, and genuine. It means I have to cover the good, the bad, and the ugly, because by analogy, the Ahn Rho Project is a time record and time capsule of my life. That's one analogy. Second thing is, because it is like that, it has to be a high purpose. I have to be purposefully driven. It means that I have certain goals and objectives and tasks that I need to take off per live stream. It is a high utility stream, has to be of benefit to me, and eventually will be hopefully useful to people watching. Even if it's just like relatable experiences or for jokes and entertainment. Finally, the last thing I need to get to in terms of kind of like important notes is that, another analogy I use to describe the Ahn Rho Project is like a game. It is sort of like a game of real life. And there's a game way back when I was a kid that, in fact, I played for a long time. Even I still check up on it as updates. It's called RuneScape. And I know some of you guys are laughing. But yeah, the point is, the Ahn Rho Project, that's a good analogy. I break down a lot of the domains of life, from relationships to finance to, employment to business. That's basically a good way to look at it. And I want to get more into game theory and system mechanics and apply that to the Ahn Rho Project. So that being said, let's move on to the fourth segment now. Let's start to cover the photographs. All right, so that's the notes, the key notes. Let's start with the photograph of the bandages. Here we have this adhesive bandage, sterile adhesive bandage, and I got injured at the workplace several times, and it was kind of ridiculous how often it was almost like 3 cuts and wounds in a day. So I had to take this out. You can see the alcohol wipes. They're on the table desk. I'm going to show that in about segment 7. So there's that one photograph there, but there's also here another one that I took a scan of, and that's the main highlight of doing all this stuff here, is that I am supposed to take a screenshot, a scan of all these things here. So here's the alcohol swab to kill off the bacteria, and here's the bandage. So I've scanned it all using an app. Think of something like NoteBlock or PDF scanner or whatever, and then I keep an electronic document of this because this is a class 4 item I received from my workplace, and a class 1 as well because I work for them. So meaning it's kind of like a gift item, but I also kind of earned it, and it's like a way to keep track of my gratitude log, kind of like, just being grateful for something that I get from my workplace or colleagues. Here's another photograph. Now we're shifting towards the clothing tags, and I actually showed this yesterday. We have this JYK Studio brand. It says $260. Believe me, you know that I'm not going to buy anything for that much money. I'm a very frugal person. So you can see here, these tags actually are on sale. The clothing, the winter jacket was on sale. So it's like for $60 after tax. It was like 50. You can see it's more than 80% off. Basically a clearance sale. Very warm, very nice. And here's again, I scanned the tags, right? Here we go. Just scanning the items. And we have here kind of like a burst snapshot of everything now. Mostly the tags, right? The washing and all that kind of stuff like that. So that's pretty much that. I have to keep this for tomorrow morning and say that we want to cover the dental stuff. So I want to save this screenshot and snapshot for tomorrow morning. We'll get to that. You can see that there's like a tooth, right? That's what I want to do. But this one here, at least this panel, I can get rid of it because it has all the bandages, has all the clothing here, and that will be the highlight for today's photography session. So let's move on. And I should mention there's something else I missed when it comes to the tags on the winter jacket, which I'm going to show about right now as we move into the 6th segment. But basically there was a button package that I missed, and I had to scan that as well. So let's talk about this. Hold on. I missed this one too. So we finished the photography. Let's move on to this, the kind of directory. This really should have been covered before the photography session. I'm trying to connect all the elements of the Ahn Rho Project media. It's a multimedia project, right? In one sense, it's much more than that, but at least the physical portion, I use media. So audio recordings, podcasts, videos, you name it, text format, just messages. So I have to, these are recordings, and I have to, per video live stream, try to find a way to capture and also put on an Excel database, link my each day's live stream. So let's say, May 12th today is the Ahn Rho Project episode ARP 789. So 789, I have to link all the ARP episode 789s together, whether it's a recording of a conversation, whether it's a photography, whether it's a live stream or the VOD that I edit after this if I do. So all that kind of stuff has to be linked together in a database, and then I have to be able to note what topics were covered in each, so I can cross-reference and search them up. I have to be able to retrieve that information, otherwise it won't be of much use to me. So that's basically this on the left-hand side panel. These are the auto recordings. On that particular day, I believe it was maybe 4 or 5 days ago. So that's that. All right, now we can move on. Okay. So here's another one. Again, just the whole recordings. All right, so recordings linked with this live stream. Let's stand up. This is region D1. This is region A2. A788. So let's start with A788. As usual, we have some stuff here that we didn't manage to finish yesterday. So I was just talking right now about how the clothing tags, JYK Studio, is kind of a tag for the winter coat. I need to show you what the winter coat looks like. But first of all, we have this tag that I scanned already. So all of these are done. I can put these away, I can stash it away. Most likely I will take this and stash it in region D4 right there. You see with the bags, there's like a clothing tags inside. Also, I said I missed another tag. It's not actually a tag, it's a package for the button, a spare button. So again, this I forgot to rip off, and yesterday I didn't show it on video. So I am doing it now. So we have all this stuff here. The spare button, in fact, I should probably keep that inside. It's useful, but I don't really know where to put it. It might not go inside region D4, but I might put it into A5 because I actually have a use for this. The tags are not very useful. Next thing I can say is, let's talk. We're gonna talk about the jacket, right? So we already took a photograph. Took several photographs, testing the jacket, seeing how it fits in the washroom when I have all my other workplace accessories like gloves on and straps and safety equipment. So here's a jacket, right? I already took a photograph. That was almost about yesterday's live stream. I showed the photography, or maybe just 2 days ago. So this is the jacket here, and it's pretty nice. It's nice and warm. The most important part is that it just, it keeps me, how do I put it? Ready to take on the weather during the winter. So next we have this. Okay, so you know what? Let's cover this first. This piece of shit here is the envelope I received yesterday, and I realized that after opening and taking a look at it, scanning it all, that in fact it has nothing to do with me. Actually, it's a dentist appointment, kind of like benefits claim, but it's not for me, it's for my brother. And so I have to give this back to him. So this one, just return it, and then I believe he'll have my guardian sign it for him because it seems to require a signature. We also have two receipts here underneath the tags, and that's one from No Frills and one from Shoppers Drug Mart, so about $35. Covered already in a previous live stream, but I didn't cover it. The receipts themselves, I just talked about the grocery items. Next we have this. So this is important. You see this kind of like a utility knife, right? Box cutter, utility knife, you name it, from Dollarama for like $3-4. And I took this out. This to remind me of this. So my jacket's on region A7. What's also here is you can see this is the contrast is shit, but you can tell that I took off the drop leg, the utility knife from this drop leg rig from my pants. So you might be able to see because of the heater now. Here's my drop leg, right? And I made it myself. What I need to do, I know the contrast is bad, but I need to take off this kind of loop here, which is what was holding the box cutter in when I go to my warehouse, because I have to cut up a lot of packaging. I'm in like shipping, receiving, production area. So I need to take off this strap and reuse it because first of all, I don't actually use this box cutter anymore. I just use a pair of scissors at my workplace, so it's easy, a quick draw in and out, unlike this knife which takes forever to take out. So I'm gonna put this away over here in region B4. That's where the knife and safety equipment are, so I'm gonna leave it there. And then I take out these straps here, these two from it, and then reuse it to really tie around either my neck or around my leg here, because one of those straps are holding the drop leg together are falling apart. So you see the knife here belongs in here, region B7 or something like that. Alright, moving back here, I said we would have to cover this in region A. Region E, we have some stuff here. So first of all, this needs to be washed. This kind of coverall, this needs to be washed completely. Shit, I don't have a lot of time, huh? That's alright, we'll do it tomorrow morning. But basically, most importantly, I have to take this, I wash this moss, because it's kind of like beaver hat. Move this over from F1, F2 down here inside the bag, store it away, and then we have this clothing here, which we, I guess, have to cover tomorrow morning. But the point is, I need to test wear this, take photographs of how it looks, and then take off the tags, scan it all that kind of stuff. So that being said, I gotta go. I mean, I have 10 seconds left.